it's a little bit hiccup. My name is Bloody Karma from Endgame.
It's your boy LSP, a level 60 Zerker who likes long walks at the beach from Lionsgate.
Go ahead, Brian. You're the guest.
Well, I'm still Prian, one of the shot callers from Endgame.
I'm still Benjamin, GM of Endgame.
Still,
Yeah,
it's kind of concerning that the word "still" is actually in it.
we're still the same
All
boys.
right. So before we dive into any further about actually today's note, where we are going to roll. We're going to start out the podcast with a funny clip, and this is we're starting kind of like a petition that Ben should not be drinking during Note Wars because this is
Dude, are you serious?
because this
It
is shit that
was.
you
I
say.
always have one beer. I always talk like this in
You
No
you you
Wars. What
are
do you
you're
guys
Asian
mean?
in one beer, and you say
That
comment
Asian
like
What does
this.
it
glow,
have to do
man.
with anything? I can drink what?
I have to flag my channel to be 18 plus. Come on, man.
Oh my
No,
god.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm just joking. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
Yo, flip
Listen
your
to me.
Discord
We've
screen.
got an hour. I can shove one dick in this guy. I shove my finger in the other guy. But we're gonna full rebuild, okay? We got time.
Ben, by
Fuck
the
these
way,
fucking 3v1 little bitches.
the Bloodo space is really easy to can.
Listen to me.
All right. So, ooh, shit, that wasn't full screen. But anyway, my bad. So it's mainly about the clip, but the voiceover. Now, as you can see, today we're gonna go over a clip that we did. Basically, we got 1v3 a few days ago against Effect, OTG, and the Blood Oath, and Effect being the biggest threat on the note. And this is on T1 Backtext. Anything you guys want to add about that background of this No War?
I think OTG was actually a little bit late to join in.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily 1v3 off the bat, but it did definitely quickly develop into 1v3.
Mm-hmm.
Give a little bit of fairness to everybody there.
All right. Prime?
No, that basically covers it. Well, I think once OTG realized that there was someone stronger on the map than them combined, they decided to move for it.
Right on.
So
Pena, before we actually start the clip, do you have any questions or comments before you want to clarify before we go into the actual
I'm
clips?
having a beer right now, by the way.
Yeah. Have you guys, before the war started, did you guys already scout them?
No.
What do you mean before the war?
Like when you guys were placing a fort, like, do you guys know?
In
Oh,
terms
to
of
go
Alright.
into them?
location or
No,
Yeah.
we placed hella early.
yeah,
Oh, you okay?
yeah, because it's a
as
back
you should
tax.
on a back tax.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
for those of you listener out there, when you're going up in the back tax, usually what you want to do is you want to place early. You know it's going to be a contested node, and what happened is it is going to every node map. There's a few good cancer spots or good spots. Shouldn't say cancer spot. Depends on what kind of the force you are running with. So for us, like we prefer out of a like at the edge of no zone and something flat. It kind of complement, I guess, our class setup for the most part. Now, you want to place early and make sure those you secure those spots. Generally, that's how you do it because, like, let's say you have it's a back tax, you're gonna have 5 nodes drop on it. Good spots generally we're looking at maybe 3, maybe 4. So yeah, you want to secure those spots. And then in regards to base locations, we do not actually scout them, any of them early, except we only know during the scouting phase. So there's a lot of us were stationed about 5 minutes before no war, and then we start picking up. Okay, who are the scouts? Um, like here are for example, we I think I saw OTG scouts running past me while I was crouching in the bush, etc. Anyway, so that's as far as we got in terms of any preliminary information gathering on the other guilds.
Bloody.
Hmm.
Your
My
Overlay.
yeah, your Discord overlay is on the wrong TS or the wrong Discord.
Oh, My
fix that real quick.
bad. Is it fixed now? Yeah, it is. Sorry about that,
Zernix the
guys.
star of this one.
Yeah, man. GG. Hang on. All right.
Okay. So
So
first clip.
yeah, let's go with first clip. So first clip is the 1258. Guys ready?
Yep.
Give me a second.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my god, everything's breaking. Hold on.
Ben's computer. Do you play the clip in optimization mode too?
That was a good one.
Just saying, FYI, our GM playing optimization mode for performance purpose. Just saying.
And that's still farm, motherfuckers. 1258, right?
Yeah, 1258, dude. All right, ready?
3, 2, 1.
So this is, I guess, the first assault of the base.
Right here.
I'm just gonna mute the comm on my side. You guys can listen to it on your side. So this is the first assault of the base. First glance, Panda. Any comments?
Their base looks really open from south side,
Mhm.
and by the looks of it, you guys are coming in from north side. Is that where your fort is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So south side is actually a river, so we need to actually wrap
Gotcha.
around. So this is actually a lot of people's first engage or first time they're at this base. Anything you want to
Okay.
add, Brian and Ben?
No. I mean, mostly we kind of came over the hills. I think we had engaged them. I think just a little bit outside the base. We pushed in. They kind of had recons. I think the recon and supply, I think, were right there, and it was the first thing we saw. They had no barricades on the northwest side, really. I mean, I guess they had one, but it wasn't upgraded. Um, it was kind of wide open. So, I mean, we didn't really move around until later on, but
Mhm.
I mean, we just hit that side first just to try to blast it down, and we kind of got pushed back off. I guess their offense really hadn't started to leave the base yet,
Yep.
or we came in real staggered, I should say, at the first wave.
Okay. Let's move on to the next clip. It will be the 1730. So this is where essentially what OTG and Blood Oath established that they need, and effect established that they need to take us out on the map first.
Yeah.
So our defense team is being pressured by OTG and
Blood
Blood
oath.
Oath, and our offense team essentially is a little bit breaking apart. We're still trying to establish our footing. I'm personally on the harassment team, so this is me getting back to the base to harass while a good portion of offensive force are defending the base with the defense.
3, 2, 1. Oh, so we're already at their base.
No, no, no.
Oh, they're skirmishing
The
outside.
call is actually for the defense team.
Oh, they're on defense on this one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Who?
the call that you guys heard that from Brian, it's you guys were near our base, and the people that was assigned to harassment is myself and the Musa Mewas. So the purpose of harassment team is not like I want to kind of clarify. It's not just denying rebuild, because there's no rebuilds to be denied at the moment. There's no what happened is we merely run as a distraction to a degree. So because we have presence at their base, they a lot of times people would want to chase and try to clear up the base, and basically
I think
slow
I'm
down their regroups
yeah.
and yeah, stuff like that. Go ahead.
I think I'm there with you actually.
You
in
were,
this
you
clip.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This clip was actually so during the time that this was actually going on, we were actually we pushed them off the base, and we were actually fighting them on the little cliff side
Hmm.
just northwest of the outside of their base. We kind of caught a good chunk of them with a hit, and then the rest of their offense showed up, and that's when you would hear me saying, like, guiding us back to the north side of it.
Mhm.
So
We
it's two
kind
of
of
them.
Yeah, so we hit them. I mean, we hit them hard, and we actually ended up winning that engagement and pushing through shortly after, I believe, if I'm right. Or we kind of had to wait for offense to regather again. We didn't have enough to push their base fully.
Yeah. So
Here
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, here's real quick. I mean, if we're at the same spot, it's where you just see me and you there, right there, fighting.
Yeah.
If you're ever on a harass team, just because you're on a harass team doesn't mean you can't play together. If you see somebody fighting on the harass team and you guys see an opening, you guys really should just. This will come with time, but you should innately know to fight together because two is better than one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you will fight, you will paint a bigger target on you, but harassers, the less deaths you take, it's more important because your job is actually a little bit more important than, let's say, defense. Because defense could res on tower, you need to res on tower and then run all the way back, so you lose a lot of time. So the less deaths you take while you're out there harassing is important. That's why you see me trying to peel for bloody in a couple of these
And
clips.
there's Kaiser as well.
But yeah,
So
Kickster has been there for a long time.
yeah, like the point again, like the point being is being a harassment team is not about just about chipping their buildings. Like that would be nice, but the fact that the few of us, there's about probably 5 to 6 of us, is a harassment team, and that's it. But the fact is, look at how many people are tied up in the base chasing us around like a headless
Yeah.
chicken. Like that's a lot of pressure being taken off. They could have put towards our base, or in this case, or anywhere else that we hope we don't want them to be at.
I mean, there's Lubu, one of our Musas that is also fighting with Bloody there on that. You just kind of like there's nothing being called out in comms, but you just kind of innately know when the chance is there, you guys fight together and then you both dip out together. So
Mm-hmm.
try not to take deaths if you're on the offense and or on the harass team.
Yeah. All right. So this is this one, and let's move on to the next, which is 3226. So this is note down as, I believe that's another one of our push. Um, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we hook around the right side as we roll in.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, down the fucking hill. Down the
South
hill.
side, south side, south side, south side, guys.
Okay.
That's where ball
Right
got
out
me. That's
from
where
me,
ball
buddy.
got me.
So, what were the numbers like for each guild, or how much do you think?
So there was effect would probably, I would say, close to 40ish, 40 to
Probably about our
50ish.
numbers.
Yeah, we were about even. Our offense was a bit was way less. We maybe had 25 offense at tops when like we had all the Maywas and DKs and all those guys.
Yeah.
We did send a few people back to help in the defense. OTG when they first showed up, it looked about to be 20, maybe to 25. I imagine they had a few people at their base. Blood Oath, I would say probably close to 30 when you put them all together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably about close to, I'd say 90 to maybe 110 tops, and that's being pretty lenient on the numbers. I'm not really sure how much the other two guilds had, or if they gave up and some of their guys just left. Gear wise,
Yeah. I mean,
OTG definitely was out geared.
yeah.
They had a few people, in each guild that was kind of scattered. The resident sleepers that just kind of gear up slowly and they're there. Effect definitely had enough numbers to kill us. Whenever we did engage them with offense, it was pretty, outnumbered in terms of the fighting. We were fighting on their base. It was just more or less they they staggered out a lot when it came down to it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anything you guys want to add to our current status? I guess because I can't really hear combo on my
Yo,
side.
all offenses spawning back up. Fucking wipe the bait.
It's what is
So this one was a bit of a weird push, I would say. We called for the push to go around the back end. We actually had a few guys that just got caught up with PvP. I think Zerker got an ulti off in the backside, and when everyone was pulling around, they had a lot of backline interrupt our push. We were gonna wrap around all the way around the back and blow down the Hawacha, but like I said, we're fighting a bit outnumbered, and we just kind of the push got kind of halted halfway because of
Mhm.
that. So a few of us made it around, and then the rest were kind of caught on the road.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so like as you can see, like it just all you see on my screens are Musa and Maywan and myself really at this point. Standard harassment task and keeping people at their base as much as we can. Anything guys you want to add, or we're good to jump?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much action, nothing too critical. All you can see is just the attack points,
Mhm.
So
All
I
right.
think we do get wiped on this push. It was a little wonky, but let's skip to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So this one's kind of like an intermission break to a point. Is 37-14. Panda,
Mhm.
I clipped this
Stop.
one just for you.
Okay.
Okay.
3,
Technically, I was gonna take this out, but go ahead.
2, 1.
Whoa. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Thinking.
there's a cannon on our base, and it's behind that hill that we're looking at on the other side of the bridge. So
Holy.
during one of our
Oh, look at
wipe,
that meatball.
during one of the wipe, we decided to go, chase it down.
Dude,
Holy
look
shit,
at
that
Bloody,
wipe,
dude.
dude.
Bloody, throw out one
Don't
PA right
arc.
now on top of us.
I got it. I got it.
It's up, it's up, it's up. Kite around that ball, kite around that ball. Dump forward AoEs. Fuck
So-
that ball. That's another one. There's another one.
For those of you guys didn't see what just happened, if you're a wizard or a witch, Sage will give you instant PA. At the time that Sasuke, which is our Valk, popped TA at the same time as me actually. But like it's a good way to counter, for example, something that it's a clutch.
Oh!
Yeah, that's why I say you'll like this one. I think this is the 5 out of 6 no war in the past that I fucking fell off the cliff and died.
Holy shit.
I thought you can't. I thought you can't. I thought you can't TP off ledges.
Yeah, you still can.
You still can?
You-
I thought
you
it
can.
rubber banded your back.
No,
That's
it-
crazy.
Depends
Like a
on.
caution kind of thing, like for horses.
That's what I thought it was.
Sometimes
yeah.
it depends on how far away from you from the ledges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that does happen. Anyway, we'll move on to the
So
next clip.
fucking funny.
Sorry about that. That's literally just for giggles. Anyways, go ahead. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
PA1 now, PA1 now.
Give me ults on top of me. Ults on top of me. Get ready to
Push
push
through,
back.
push through. Strong side left, strong side
So I
left.
believe this is one of our biggest bigger push. Sorry.
Drop that PvP in the back.
Yeah, so this push, we basically had a full rally. We were getting to the point, I think, where we realized with death timers climbing up, we needed to do a bit more damage with our push. So I switched from more being like full dive to just more body blocking. So
That's it, baby.
you'll hear me yell and kite it back, and it's basically because our pushes, while they're strong, we're not wiping the full entire group with the first push, so we can't keep going because we don't have the PAs to sustain that. I think we were missing 2 of our PAs that night, and we had Tiger, and Tiger wasn't there at the time, so it was just bloody on that one. So we hit them hard the first time, and then I think we pulled back a bit, and they straggled. They kind of break apart a bit, and then we just kind of reapply pressure.
Yeah.
They're also really good about diving. Like, they had a lot of divers, dude.
Yeah, that's one of the yeah. They
That's
kept
why we
sending
have
like
to
about
measure
5 or
ourselves
10 people kept circling around the back end, and we just started playing a bit more conservative on the pushes and just wiping the ones on our back, and then doing closest to furthest as I call it out.
And like taking like timer into consideration, we're currently 40 minutes into a no war, right? So after 30 minutes, your timer really started to build up. Before 30 minutes, it's basically still at like a time that you can shrug off to a degree.
4 or 5 seconds, roughly.
Yeah. So like timer really start to like build up, and at the beginning, yes, playing more aggressive to a degree, it will pay off because you can just play off that timer right away. And then just shrug it off and just continue. And then, but like that's why like the switching to conservatives, but like around 40-minute mark is probably a good, like it's good as well. Another thing I want to point out here, remember we keep talking about field positioning. Look where I'm standing at right now.
2, 1.
Yeah, that place becomes our best friend later on in those pushes.
Yeah, so the back is towards a rock. On the right side is a building flag. So what happened is with Hellfire, I just clip. I will turn my crosshair a little, and then I'll clip the flag so I won't move out of the bush. So the fact that I'm hiding there, and then you will be amazed how many people don't play with effects on. And I'm sitting here damaging their tower, their people from their ass, they have there's so many things happening that I'm just sitting here just free damage all day, and you will notice how many people actually see it. But the fact that my back is towards a wall and the structure, like, and I can just infinite cycle that one single frontal block because my back is not exposed and super armor, and then there's literally nothing they can do unless they grab me. But at this point, I know even if they grab me, it's tough for them to sustain the CC chain. Anything else you want to add?
I mean, just typical bloody, dude. Typical bloody, man.
Oh, so what was happening with Blood Oath and OTG?
Just
Um,
crashing into our defense, man.
Yeah.
our
Gotcha.
our defense have like we're running about 10 on 12, 10 to 12 defense
10 to
days.
12. So 2 full parties and about a couple overflow.
Oh, I came out, yeah, to res Brian.
So the thing with OTG and Blood Oath is that these guys, if they would have worked together, they actually would have killed us. They did work together, but it was a very not a lot of communication. Um, so Blood Oath would either push in by themselves, which they had the kind of the numbers to do, but OTG wouldn't push in at all. I guess they would push in, but they never pushed in as a group. If both guilds would have pushed in, we would have had 30 to 40-ish players in the guild, probably circling around doing their stuff. But it was usually just one side or the other that was being pushed. Our defense was able to handle it just fine.
Yeah,
And it's actually not that easy. Like, to even if you work with a guild, it's really not that easy to sync your pushes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that is something that works to our favor in this node war. It's hard to sync pushes, even if you're on a ceasefire. You can PM the guy as much as you want, but there's a lot of extraneous stuff that will happen. And unless you guys both are next to each other and you guys both hold hands and skip over to our base, it's not gonna be easy. Especially because defense is pretty good about scouting out other people hitting our base. So
um, how did our defense like? Do they go out and like kind of meet with like mess with people's regroup points and stuff, or do you guys know?
depends on who's there. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, depends on the classes. I know we have a couple Zerks that do that.
Mhm.
Um, there are a lot of scouts. Like, they are pretty good about scouting that stuff out.
Mhm.
Not to mention, like, the way that this node war was set up was that we could see most of the stuff coming towards us. We're actually pretty high up on a cliff. So on defense, if you just kind of peek your head out, you should be able to see a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
And also offense is respawning and calling it out. Like, for example, like Aqua calls out a OTG regroup the first time they come hit us. They saw us, they saw him coming from a mile away. So we
Yeah.
pretty much just left him for defense. I mean, we just had to trust our defense in this node war, man. That's all it was.
Yeah. So one thing I want to comment about a fact is they do like I remember few weeks back we were talking about our nowhere against Force, also on T1 no rollover actually was Force was really good at coming out and mess with our regroup points. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but effect like they do that. They do come out and it was successful. The first like it broke out. Would you? They broke out like regroup a few times. You would say,
Couple
Brian?
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
They came to
Yeah, they
meet
did.
us.
They kept, it was a few stragglers, people playing hero, just trying to disrupt. After a while, we kind of just pulled the regroup point back to a spot that was more favorable for us. Like, even if they did try to engage on us, we had a quick enough time for a re-rally.
Hmm. Yeah, so like it's good. Like again, the reason why defense team when you're defending, you want to go out and try to meet the force outside your base. The main thing is that the collateral damage. You want to fight on objectives. That's the thing, because yes, you can have your siege covering you in fighting in your base, but the fact that all these AOE's that payment just went to China. Anyway, the AOE's it's gonna slowly chip away your buildings, and to a point that is gonna become unrecoverable. Like you are forced to play more defensive every single time when your structure slowly get lower and lower on HP. So ideally, yeah, it seems more convenient to fight around your C structures, but you're basically it's actually it will be more better on the long run if you try to fight outside of your base. What do you guys think? Yes, like any comments on that?
It's like a yes and no.
Hmm.
It's like a yes and no. Obviously, it depends on their comp, right?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if they have a lot of high quality divers, you should fight them off of your base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they have paper, like, yeah, the AoE will hurt you in the long run because, you know, it's not like there's necessarily like any zero amount of damage that they like. The damage they do to your structures is a non-zero number, yes, but like you should always fight and meet their regroup if you have the strength. You know,
Yeah.
the faster you crack into them before they get their bearings about them is better. But at the same time, if you push into a big group of like 10 to 20 and they just wipe you, then you have to respawn on top of your turret anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. It's like a case by case, right? Yeah, you have to be very careful about picking your fights. But if they have high quality divers like Musameos, for example, you cannot fight inside of your structures because that'll be a nightmare to catch them.
Hmm.
They can just weave in and out of the flame towers and your structures, and it's just gonna be a fucking shit show. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
as a general blanket statement, though, I do agree that it's much better to fight their offense regroup if you have the strength and the numbers off of your structures, and then your watcher can pretty much cover you too,
Hmm.
depending how far out you are, because the watcher can shoot pretty far, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next clip, which is actually, you know what? I'm just gonna let it run because essentially the next clip is me running back to the base. And anyway, comment, Prime, anything on
What
the?
time?
Oh, it's 50. We're at 50, 30, 50, 40.
Okay.
So, Prime, any comments about the whole tactic against as a defense team?
I sort of drifted off of it, so
That's
kind of
fine.
missed that part.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, you know what? Panda, you are defense lead.
That is true.
I kind of zoned out a bit.
Fuck
Fuck
you,
fuck you and your
dude.
Zerkers, man. Holy shit.
They just want to scream, dude.
Yeah.
Fight. If you're on defense, when do you fight on your structures? When do you fight them out in the field?
Uh, you want to go ahead?
No, I don't do defense.
Okay, so for defense, what I would do is that if I see a big group of people trying to push in, then if my numbers, if I think, you know what, fuck this, dude. No, Lionsgate, we go balls deep. If I see people grouping up, going ready for a push, I will fucking go in there, and I expect people to go in with me, because I will be screaming. They know I will be screwing.
How many do
And
you
if they
have on
don't,
defense with
Yeah,
you?
how many do you have on defense actually?
on
40.
defense, how'd you know?
No, really? Like,
No, so for defense, I cut it down. So I did it
Cut it
from so
down, he said,
five,
boys.
no, wait,
roughly
let's
15.
pause.
So
15?
On the fucking
7
T3?
on. Listen, all right. So 7 right there. Okay.
Okay, okay,
So usually I want 8 people on outside of the fort,
okay.
and then 2 people inside ammoing the Hwacha flame towers, and then the rest are in siege weapons.
What do you mean ammo? Oh, ammoing. You actually have
Ammo,
ammo,
yeah.
boys?
Yeah, I said yeah. I don't want those
Ammo,
siege people to leave.
boys.
Okay, okay.
One of those actually a girl.
Fine. Ammo personnels. Alright,
Ammo
actually,
peoples.
let's talk about the positioning here on the south. Prime and Ben. You guys want?
Timestamp? Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, if it's whatever you have running on the stream, it's basically just south side was easier to rally on. You could abuse the kind of access to the hill point with AoEs and stuff. But also the biggest thing is when you push into them, if you give someone plenty of room to kite back, they're just gonna keep kiting you back. With this, we can pretty much push into their base, and they have a gate behind them, and they have barricades to the sides of them. They do have an opening on their other side, but most of our pushes we would wrap around the east side, I believe it was, and just continue to push them into their gate, pretty much.
Yeah.
With their backs up against the walls, we didn't have to really worry about anything. We could just, at that point, if we wanted to, if things got dicey, we could body block and just AoE forward.
Yeah. And the biggest thing about that particular regroup point on the south is that it's a downhill. It's a very steep hill. For them to push into us, it's tough because there's all kinds of skill gonna fucking glitch out going downhill. Like again, terrains, man, terrain. Going downhill is a cancer for them. So that means, what does this mean? It means we can enter the fight, enter the engage on our turn, because they're not going to come down. So we can go in with everything ready, as like, oh, we don't need a clutch PA. We're gonna PA and then we're gonna go in. We're gonna be ready before we engage. So that's why, like, look at your surroundings, and plus what Brian say. Essentially, we're trapping them into their own base at this point.
Assassin classes, get around the outside. Three.
Anything else you want to add, guys?
Push 'em, man. Get ready.
So okay.
Tiger PA1.
You know how some forts or some guilds like their fort barricades staggered,
Mhm.
so they would have more room for grids wise, right? Would you guys, let's say Affect had their barricades staggered, would you guys focus on the barricades or just go in and disrupt inside the fort,
What do you mean?
like a just in general kind of thing,
So
actually?
so if they've staggered the barricades, it really, I guess it just depends. Usually when you stagger barricades, you have some sort of recon or flame tower or something kind of sticking in between one of those at points, um, to kind of cover the chokes because you still leave them open. Um, Usually it just if the barricades are already upgraded by the time we get there, we don't really, we just kind of dismounting like AoE in and just kind of force them to come outside their base and fight us. We usually try to, at that point we play def timers. If they don't have a lot, we just kind of stick on the base. If the base is closed up or they have like they're not upgraded, usually what we'll do is we'll just kind of charge down like 3 or 4 barricades on one side, give us an opening, and then just keep pressure there, and then just leave the bladers and Maywas to deny.
Because it's like iron barricades, dude. Like if you're gonna sit there and wail on that, you're just wasting time, man.
Yeah.
Unless you have an alley popped up ready to go, dude, that shit's not gonna go down. You can sit there and horse charge it for 4 hours, man. Like that's what I feel like. Y- y- You're only gonna get a base barricade down before it's iron. Like I'm sorry, but that's just a fact. If they have any, if their base is like has any sort of people there, you're just gonna die on your horse. Once it's upgraded by iron, you just have to figure out which hole is better to engage from because you can never fully surround a base in barricades, and if you do, that's retarded because like
You'd be
you
sacrificing
have to,
grids.
yeah, you're sacrificing grids, and you should also like you should purposefully leave openings in your barricades. That's just a fact. Like you should leave openings in your barricades, but in an intelligent manner. So if things play right, then they will go through those chokes, and then you have a plan. You have a contingency plan for that. But if it's Iron Man, just leave it. Just figure it another way.
Yeah, and then, like, not to mention like T2, then you got more barricaded work with, but like a lot of currently, like, for example, this particular node, for example, is a T1 backtack. So literally, if you don't build an elephant nursery, you're looking at 6 barricades, 6 to work with. Like, so, like, I mean, there's just isn't enough grit to work with on T1s. But anyway, let's actually move on to the next clip, because the rest of it is pretty straightforward. We just dive and finish that tower. You guys good?
102.20.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
So we finished at this point. We finish off what's my call it? We finish
Effect.
off effect, and we are starting to deal with Blood Oath and OTG.
They have a flag on our base. Gets called out. Brian goes Zerker mode in and runs to the
So
back in Ultimo.
So yeah, so this one we were leaving the base. Someone said there's a flag. I went to go look for it a bit. Bloody was coming with me, and I kind of like lava piercer in, and I fucking do the spacebar jump at the end because I'm bad. And the worst thing about it is I jumped like right in front of their group of like 30 players, and they just sat there. And I
They're like,
just was like, they just like watched me jump, and then I just like lava piercered in again, and then just ulted. And so I mean, it wasn't. There was definitely like the biggest thing I noticed with Blood Oath and some of the others was like they just did not respond like at all. Like none of their players really seemed to move. Like even if we were just like solo by ourselves, that several times you'll notice like we just kind of walk into them with no resistance, not even AOE's or anything being thrown at us. So yeah.
yeah, if you, I don't know, like when you get pushed in on, dude, you have to have some sort of reaction. They will walk over you because they're tightened up and you're not.
They did get better about it. At the start, the first couple clashes we had with them, I know we're more so on our base, so it wasn't really obvious. But like in that push right there, I mean, there was just no reaction from anyone when I got
Yeah.
in there, so it allowed me to ult off. I mean, I burned for it, but we got the whole wipe on them, so it was a good
I mean,
trade.
but they were there for a while, dude. They had to have been there for a while because of that flag placement. So now you see that we're scouting, trying to figure out where the hell the flag is.
Yeah. These are a clip, by the way, so it's your call on when to skip and shit. Just FYI.
Yeah, let's skip to the next one.
Skip to the next one. All right, I'm ready.
That's gonna be 110-19.
Yep.
Ready?
El Busho Bloodio.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
That's the way they've been coming up. That's the way they're gonna probably keep coming up.
So I think at this
You can
point,
see
Yep. Get to the
Brody
bridge.
in his natural habitat.
Just gonna get to the bridge. and keep rallying.
Gillied up wizard.
I really like bushes, guys.
Comfortable where he is.
Hey, at least he doesn't have his pet out, dude.
Yeah, I'm improving. There's no pets out this time, dude.
Yeah, not this one.
It's a big ass golem. Just, hey guys. Nothing to
Standing
see
outside
here.
a bush.
Keep moving on.
So, just a quick explanation. Their flag is actually in the tree line right now, and our main force is actually regrouping. Am I correct at the time?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we at this point we split everyone up. Bladers, Maywas, DKs went to OTG's base just to kind of harass them and keep pressure on there. Then we pulled Bladers to help with the flag, and then we Blood Oath was just pushing, so we just gathered up on the hill one more time, um, wiped them up there. We actually for the hill one, I think we actually were all just sitting on a hill underneath their hill, and they just kind of walked into us off the cliff line, and we just blew them up as they dropped down.
Yeah, and then they did leave behind some like defenses for their flag for some reason. And like I don't know if you guys noticed, like I engage earlier, like I engage, and then I actually teleport past them and basically move the five on top of the tower. And again, I'm sorry, on top of the flag. And again, it's about moving the fight on top of objective. And this way, yeah, I can kill them. They can come to me, and I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna AOE their fucking flag. In stuff like that. Like yeah, I blow maybe it's not necessary if I'm just straight up fighting them. But in this case, it's kind of like two birds with one stone situation. Go ahead, Ben. I guess. Yeah, or Prime.
I was just gonna say, for this point in time in the Node War, it's just a matter of time. We were splitting a lot of the forces. They weren't gonna win with effect down to the numbers and the gear difference. Our gear is, I think, like 470-ish average for the most part. I know effect doesn't really have. I'm not sure what theirs is, but they had they had some decent hitters. They had some, and for this point in time in the game, 470 average on a guild's gear is not too impressive per se. Um, We do have some heavy hitters in the guild, but we do also have our own set of potatoes and people that just don't have a lot of damage or gear to them. So it kind of evened out. It's like I said before, if they would have all been a bit more smoother in OTG and Blood Oath would have been hitting the base at the same time, we probably would have it probably would have drawn out for almost a full 2 hours before we won.
My ping that I just spammed.
But we still would have won.
I mean, yeah, like
Let's go offense. Let's
there
go
are a
offense.
couple crucial. This is why I clipped this, right? Like there are a couple crucial things that just blew huge opportunities like into our favor. Like one of them is flag management. Like if you leave your flag, better be for a damn good reason and to good effect. You know, like your flag, yes, it is a respawn point, but also two, it is a huge target for the enemy guild to go for. So if you pull your offense off of that and you willingly let it go, you better be doing something with it. And if you just get wiped because of it, then you might as well have just been fighting on your flag at that point because then maybe you get a little bit more respawns in. But like what both of these guilds do at the end is they basically respawn off the flag. All of our forward scouts call it out. We just wait till they leave the flag, and then they come in, clean up the flag, while our entire offense force is just sitting there waiting for them. So like huge like predictions. Like it happens on OTG as well. Is that right? Yeah. Except it's the reverse where we use our flag as bait. They all go for the flag, and then our entire offense force moves in on their base.
Let's go offense.
It's like it goes both ways. You gotta be careful about when you push off, and it better be for a damn good reason.
Um,
We can skip.
skip. All right. So we are at 150. We're going to 150. Oh, yeah, we're going to 115.
115-13.
Yeah. You guys ready?
So now we're at Blood
Yep.
space. 3, 2, 1.
Musa Maywas are the only ones that are gonna be fucking hitting OTG for now.
Panda as an outside. Someone that is not in game. This base. How would you deal with it?
For this base, they're next to a river. You guys don't have a galley. I would attack from east side where there's a Rico. It looks like is that a supply behind it? Oh no, that's flag, and then there's a flame tower.
Yeah.
So one meatball will hit like 3 of them, and then sandwich it on the other side with like your flex or swing team. So like double penetration, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. You see all these fucking stun traps? Holy fuck, dude. You see
How
that?
did you not get stunned by those?
I feel like those are flame traps, not stun traps, actually.
No. Flame is different. Flame looks different.
Really? I don't know. That is odd, because I set up at least like 4 already. And I'm just
Maybe they
like,
were flame traps. Check your. Is it venom traps? No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Huh? Maybe you just blocked it. No, there's no way. Yeah, maybe
yeah,
they were
because I
flame
was
traps. I remember.
dashing on at least one of them.
Yeah, you were sea walking on one of them.
Yeah, I was naked as fuck. So,
That's weird.
That was a good time.
That is weird.
yeah.
I mean, anyways, like you can see that just like our offense naturally gravitates towards like the best plan of attack. Like that bottom side, man. Like, sure, it's good to put yourself against. It's like sometimes it is bad, yes, to put yourself against the wall, but in this case, like, there's a lot of wiggle room in the back, and we
So
just
the reason we
melt this flame
yeah,
tower.
the reason we put ourselves on the wall on that one, or I moved us back to that one was one, they had 4 structures and like 3 barricades attached side by side. They had the gate on one side, and in the middle of all this shit was 4 structures. I mean, you can't. There's no room for them to really get out of the base on that side, so they have to come around one side, or they have to go around the gate,
Yeah.
which we can just sit on the backside and AOE down that shit, and if they try to get close to it, they get blown up.
Yeah, they stacked a lot of structures on that one. Just easily just AoE through there, and it's flat, so that's a huge fucking plus. That
Is the
other side
Hwacha-
was a little bit wonky.
Yeah, their Hawacha was there too. Is Hawacha
Yeah.
Flame Tower,
Damn.
Flag, and a Recon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that placement is just wonky.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, let's talk about actually, by the end of this clip, we'll talk about cover the base layout again. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. You guys.
I mean, no, it's just like, yeah, I mean, in terms of base layout, segue into that, like, Do not stack important structures on top of each other. Yes, you want a flame tower to cover your Hwacha. Yes, you want, your flag and your supply depot or your Rico in a defensible position. No, do not put them all together. Like, just no.
At
Just
least like
no.
4 pegs out, at least.
Yeah, like
Or
if there
three.
was a cannon, if we had a cannon set up, that thing would have been cleaned out without any offense have walked over there. Maybe not the flag, because the flag is a tankier piece of structure, but all that shit would have been flagged or fucking fragged out.
You know what it looks like? It looks like they built barricades first and then the structures.
That's nutty, dude.
That's
That gate's not bad, like necessarily, but like imagine if that gate was on the flip side, up at that top of the. Nah, I guess you can't place there. I don't know,
No,
man.
you can't.
yeah.
Imagine if you had rotated it, like where those structures were, though. You know what I mean? Like
But why though? That would
just.
be against the river to a degree.
Yeah, it would be against the river, but if you're not using it for cannons exactly,
Mhm.
then you can funnel them right into the Hwacha Flame Tower combo.
Mhm.
And then it's like a funnel of death.
Yeah.
You can just shoot it down the hallway.
Mhm.
Like that would make more sense. But basically, that fence was blocking off the entire backside of the Hwacha. So yeah, it can ricochet, but it can't shoot out when we come in that direction. So it just
Yeah.
didn't really work to put like to their advantage.
Well, so the ideal is you want a 3 point coverage, or at least 2 point coverage on your supply depot. So, what it means is your supply depot being one of the, well, it is the most important structure you have. As long as you have the supply depot, you have your a lifeline. Now, uh, what I mean by 3 point coverage or 2 point coverage is, basically supply depot need to be covered by at least one flame tower and the Watcha. Okay, and so that and Watcha need to be covered by at least like one flame tower. So if you think about it this way, is ideally if you want 3 point coverage, it will be your supply depot in, let's say, supply depot in the center, one flame tower on the flame tower max range is 6 grid, by the way. So you want it around 4 grid so it can kind of spray through. Now, so 4 grid flame tower on one side, another 4 grid a flame tower on the other side, but not as obviously as a straight line. You want to arc a little around your castle, and then you have basically another 4 to 5 grid that sorry 4 grid on one of the flame tower on the other side of supply depot. Um, so your flame tower cover the watcha, and while your watcha can shoot supply depot. So your watcha being covered off by one flame tower, and your supply depot is covered by all C structures. And how you're gonna make that happen around your base is up to you. So again, 6 grid, and it's a very common mistake. People know that there's flame tower has 6 grids. A lot of people know this, but people put it at exactly 6 grid. And what happened is it doesn't reach. Like you only reach one side of the stuff that you want to cover, and you become like, oh, we're just gonna walk on the other side, and I don't, you won't be able to hit us at all. And the next space, you actually be able to kind of see that as a better example. But then you also want to, what happened is that, like Ben said, you want to space out your structures so all structure won't get hit by AoEs all at once. So not just AoE from players, but AoE from cannons, etc. Anyways, I think Blood Oath as a base goes down within this push, and pretty much, are we good for skipping the next one?
Yep.
Ben?
Three,
Wait, wait, wait,
two,
wait. Which one are we
one
at?
1620, right?
No. 11620 will go backward.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, because we spoke over
Oh,
11620.
we talked
Yeah,
11830. Then
yeah.
yeah,
Ready.
three, two, one. This is this OTG? No.
No,
This is still Blood Oath.
yeah. Oh, you didn't make the clip of OTG.
Huh?
You want to skip to OTG?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's skip to OTG. Sorry, guys. Apparently we don't have a time spent for that.
Oops.
Do we?
We do. We should.
Sorry about that. 125.19. That's what it was.
125.19.
Yeah. Yeah, I got mine. Yours? Guys?
Yeah. Three, two, one.
Got it.
Yep.
Nice.
Alright, go for it, man.
Throw a lighthouse for me too. Please.
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing that I don't even know where to start. The first thing that we saw when we rolled up to this base is that like we came in through this alleyway to begin with, so that worked out well. But their Hwacha and their C structures were all centralized in one position, and they couldn't reach the flip side of this tower. Hwacha cannot shoot through towers or forts, and flame towers can squirt through, but you just have to just tank it, with lighthouses and PAs, or just step back a little bit and use your ranged. As you can see, Unraz in the back is doing descending current, just AoEing everything. We're all threading the needle on the flip side of that tower, and we just stay there, dude. Like I hate to fucking
Yo, push to the tower. Push to
I
the
hate
tower,
to
guys. All
fucking
damage on
spoil
the
it, but
tower.
we just stay there until the base goes down.
Res the dead on top of you guys.
And this is why we always stress siege structure placement in every single fucking podcast, because that can make or break your defense, man. Like that should be if you're on defense, you should also have a say in how things are placed too,
Yeah.
because you're the ones manning the things. You know what works, what doesn't.
God, Shanker, your fucking
Um,
is hideous.
and like, we understand that, like, there are terrains is not perfect. You have, maybe you find this place and you're like, oh shit, this look like, super flat. And, we gonna, it looks like we're good. It's pretty easy to set up, but then you realize there's this one rock just fuck with the rest of your base placement. Like, we understand, like, it's not saying that every base you can find a perfect base. There's always some hiccup in every single base. So just do, I guess, like, do the best you can, and prioritize what's important to you or for your comp. And as well as the same thing as an offensive force, when you're attacking a base, just remember, same thing happened to them, will happen to them, and there's always gonna be a chink in the armor for them, and you just need to find that weak spot and then and exploit it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that is a huge chink in the armor, dude.
Panda, you're a base placer for your gal.
Oh baby.
So what do you look for in the base when you look for a spot?
Well, first, I like building on flat land and open areas, open trees. I mean, so one, I can see where I'm getting cannoned if I am getting cannoned, and two, it'll be a lot easier to build forts. Now, as for how to build a fort, I usually like to build the weapons first, just to see the grids and all that stuff, and then the like supply depot, Rico. I like to work inside outside, pretty
Oh,
much.
so you what you're saying is so you bring multiple structure with you.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when I scout, I bring one of each, one flame tower, one Hwacha, one barricade, one Rico, of course the fort, and one gate,
Okay.
Yeah.
just to see the grids.
Yeah, I
There's
guess
Yeah.
I,
all so yeah, in case you guys didn't notice, by the way, each structure has its own grid, so to speak. Has its own set of grid rules that they all align with. So your Hwacha may not be able to be placed in the same exact spot that a barricade can, for example, and vice versa.
and then when you were placing base, what's the first structure that you lay down, Panda?
I usually like to lay down the flame
Start with a
tower.
fort, right?
Oh well. Hello.
Whoa,
Yeah. Okay.
trick
So the fort.
question.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, good going.
So the fort.
Okay.
Fuck. Fort first, and then the defensive flame tower, meaning the one that will cover the Hwacha first,
Okay.
and then before I
Flame
place it, I
tower,
look,
then flame
and
tower,
then
then Watcha.
Hwacha. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just to see the grids. If it can cover it, if not, then don't place it.
Mhm.
Hwacha, and then another flame tower. If you're going for tier three, then another flame tower, and then work my way in from supply depot to Rico's.
Mhm. Supply deal. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty standard. All right. So it sounds pretty similar to ours. So actually, we're gonna Oh, actually, you know what? Let's
Good
go.
fight, endgame.
Yeah.
That looks
So,
really fun.
any overall comments, Brian, on this fight?
No, not too much on the OTG one. I just was on the rock role playing the whole
No,
time, pretty much.
Oh, baby.
no, like overall as like the whole fight.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was good. Like I said, if they would have been a bit more organized, we probably would have been in a tighter spot. Probably would have been a bit more of a high tension fights, but they were kind of loose, and we just took advantage of it.
Hmm.
So
Ben.
it was I don't know. Outside of that, T1 rollovers are pretty good for if your guild's kind of like sitting between T1s and T2s. You can't really do T2s, but you dominate T1s. Rollovers are usually a pretty good field to play in until you have T2s, at least to compete pretty good on T2s.
Yeah. Ben. Any overall comments?
Uh, good fight. You know, like
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was a good ass fight, man.
Yeah.
Like
It
that.
was. You
That was
enjoyed
a
it.
hell of a lot of fun, man.
There was a lot of bushes. Like,
There's a
142.11.
lot
Who
of
is that?
bushes hidden in. A lot
yeah.
of bushes were hiding in, and a lot of pushes. A lot of fingers thrown around.
Wait,
um.
And I mean that will
142.11.
bring my thing. Like we may say uh like me and Prime both, like we may talk shit during the node wars, but we're actually really respectful. Like yeah, we'll be like fuck these fucking kids, you know, like we'll say that, but at the end of the day, I always say good fight no matter what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like if it's a fair fight and you guys all played it like respectfully, there's no reason that I'm not gonna say good fight, and hopefully that's a culture that gets into NA
Yeah.
eventually. I don't know how long it'll take, but maybe it'll get there.
So I'm gonna let this clip play while we talk about this. This is literally you guys probably noticed during one of the replays, but this is just the clip that the tamer missed the jump and went to China on the cliff. Anyway, so Panda
I
that
like those players, dude. Balls deep. Dude. Look at it. Boom. Done.
they missed
All
the
right, go
ball
ahead.
completely, dude. Look at that. Anyway, so what's gonna call it? Panda, 142.11. That's and not including officer and Galmaster kills. That's Hanem. That's our DK, resident
Is
DK.
he single? Like, is he under 5'8", like long walks at the beach, or what?
Ben, that he's your boy. He's,
Wait, who?
Hanem is
Does
your
it? Does he
boy.
like to cuddle?
Hanem is
Oh,
your boy.
Hanem?
Yeah.
Where? What timestamp?
No, no, no. Panda is asking if he's single. He likes to cut.
Oh, if
Likes to
Hanem
cuddle
is
under
single, he's like
5'8".
to cuddle.
Likes long walks at the beach,
I don't
dude.
know, dude. He'll probably one shot you, dude.
I don't mind him going balls deep. You know what I mean? Wink, wink.
No, dude, it's not even balls deep, dude. That's
I
coming
don't.
out your mouth, dude.
Actually, there's a good chance that Dalnim actually is more gear than Panda. Is it?
I think she is actually.
Probably.
Yeah, I think she
Dalnim
is
is
actually. Darlene's more geared than me, dude.
Dalnim is Hanem's girlfriend, wife, girlfriend.
Oh my God. So
Girlfriend.
there's two girls. Gotcha.
No, no, Hanem's a dude, dude.
He
Sorry,
talks
you
like
lied.
this. Oh, I'm terrible. Sorry.
Yeah, but dude, he'll probably one shot you. There ain't no cuddling with that one.
He's
All
really
right.
cool.
This has been the Bloody Karma podcast.
Yep. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. And yeah, next week same time, 11:30 EST. And I'm gonna upload this video to our my YouTube channel, I guess, our YouTube channel, I should say. And just leave a comment or like if you have any questions or suggestions in the YouTube channel. So next week
Stay
same
woke.
time. Next week same time. My YouTube channel is SRS Karma, and I'm Bloody Karma from Endgame.
It's your boy Illis Panda from Lionsgate, level 60 Zerker, likes cuddles and long walks at the beach.
Brian?
Oh, Ben, that was your turn, dude.
Nah, it's you, baby. I can't follow that
I
up.
was playing my phone app. It's free and
at least,
Wait,
at least say which guild you're a part of, buddy.
oh, from Endgame.
Dude, my fourth sharp today, and this is Ben GM of Endgame.
thank you guys. Thank you very much for you guys to tune in, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for having us, buddy.
Yep.